What's going on, YouTube fam? I hope you're all having a great day. Apologies for the length in which it's taken me to upload this video. You know, what with Christmas and New Year and stuff, you know, people are just generally a lot busier. Today we're going to be going through a deadlift tutorial video here at FITBASE UK, and this gym is run by my good friends Nathan and Craig, who have kindly let me use the gym facilities for this tutorial. Behind the camera I've got Laci as well, who's helped me with previous videos before. He's a great CrossFitter and he's a great friend, very knowledgeable personal trainer working out at DUNSTABLE as well. So without further ado, what I'm going to be teaching you today is 5 staple principles that you need to adopt in order to maintain a good deadlift lift. So the reason I'm doing this quick voiceover is because the wind was terrible and you can't hear me speak at all basically. So coming through into the gym, they offer one-to-one personal training sessions, and there's, as you can see, there's a lot of equipment here. So they have 2 separate rooms, and in this room here is the free weights. So I will hand you back to myself into the video, and I'll catch you in the next clip.
So the reason for the video is because I see it time and time again where people are performing deadlifts wrong, or to 80%, but we want to make sure that we're doing it 100% right in order to get the best results and the best programming for you. So I'm going to tell you 5 things that I have learned over my years of training and what you should learn in order to perfect a deadlift. So, number 1 is positioning or stance, i.e. where your legs should be, where your arms should be. Number 2 is flexibility, mainly from the posterior chain of your body, i.e. the lower back, the glutes, the hamstrings and the upper back. The more flexible you are, the easier you're going to find the deadlift. Number 3 is something called bar flex, which we will go on to in just a second. Number 4 is simultaneous activity. So we're not dominating the lower back over using the legs, or using the legs over the lower back. We're using the lower back and the legs at the same time. Remember, the deadlift is a full body workout and one of the best lifts that you can do in the gym. Finally, number 5 is something called the click. This is something that I learned years ago, and someone taught me this, and we'll go on to explaining what that exactly is at the end of this video to perfect your lift. So without further ado, I'm going to get Laci in on the bar and we're going to go through some positioning things to start. Okay, so we've got the bar here. So the first thing is the feet set up. So Laci's going to put his feet roughly around about hip width apart, and if you have a look over the top of the bar, so Laci's feet, you want to have the bar ideally lined up with your laces, because that is where the centre of the gravity is on your body, correct? Stance, set, hands just on the outside of the legs, overhand grip. It's up to you whether you want to go one under, one over. Personally for me, I like to go both over to reduce the risk of bicep injuries. So you're going to grab the bar just on the outside of your legs, and if we look from the side profile, you can see that Laci's shoulders are dead in line with the Olympic bar here. If he rolls forward, it's going to put him off balance and he's going to drive his hips up first. If he moves too far back, he's going to be off balance and lean back and fall backwards. So we want to make sure that the shoulder is in dead central line, as you can see, with the Olympic bar there. So next up is flexibility. The more flexible you are, the easier the deadlift will become. If you're not very flexible, this is what you will look like when you come into the deadlift. So you can see Laci's got quite a stiff lower back there. So he's not flexible through his lower back or through his hamstrings. If he is more flexible, and this is probably one of the most flexible guys that I know, more flexible than me, you can drive the glutes downwards and you can level out your back and have a neutral spine, and that will then keep the shoulders in line. So if you're unflexible again, look at the rounding of the backness. So unflexible and then flexible here. So I'll just come around the back and you can see flexible, and then unflexible would be like this. Good ass. So flexibility plays a real important role in executing the deadlift correctly. So the third point we were talking about was bar flex, taking the slack out the bar. So Laci is now going to imitate taking the slack from the bar before you begin the lift. So all you're doing is externally rotating your shoulders, and contracting your body, i.e. your grip. You're gripping the bar and pulling up ever so slightly. Release the slack and then bring it back on again and then release. You can see the movement in the bar, back on and back off. Now some deadlift bars that you get in other gyms, you've got the Texas deadlift bar and the Rogue Ohio deadlift bar, which have more whip and more slack in the bar. And these bars are better off for using for the deadlift because you would start the deadlift at a higher point on your shin. So one more time, taking the slack out the bar, ready to lift, there, and then down, taking the slack out the bar, and lifting. So I'll just get a few shots of Laci doing that. And you can hear the noise that it makes on the plates. Bar, that's it. So slack off, slack on, lift, and down. More. So here we're moving on to number 4, which will be simultaneous activity. So moving everything at the same time and getting a nice straight bar path. So as you can see, as Laddie lifts this bar, the actual central line of that bar wants to travel upwards as straight as possible. So you can see from earlier his shoulders are over the bar is over his laces, and there's not much movement left or right in the bar. It's coming up directly straight and directly down. Some things that you want to avoid is what we call a soft lockout, is where you don't fully lock your knees and lock your back, i.e. you can see the way Laddie's back is now, or the alternative is a hyperextension, where you lift the deadlift and hyperextend your lower back. I've seen so many people do this, and every time I see it, I cringe in my mind. This is not something you want to incorporate to your deadlift. Stand up straight, stand up strong, look ahead, lock your knees, lock your back at the same time. So we're going down and we're coming up. Strong deadlift. Down again and up. And last one, down and up. Keeping a straight bar path with the... So the last thing on the list was number 5, which is called the click. This is something that I've learned over the years, and I've taught people on how to execute the deadlift, and it's easy to remember as well, and it's audible. So if you actually imagine someone clicking their fingers like this, that is the exact point that you should be standing up and finishing your rep. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So you've set your position up, you're flexible, you're going to go through moving the bar, slack, you're going to stand, and the click comes at the exact point the knee straightens and the hips align. Okay, so I'll tell you what I mean by that. So I'm going to lift this weight, I've got my flexibility, I'm looking ahead, I'm taking bar flex. As I stand, I'm waiting for the click, and the click is going to be there. Click. Okay? So I'm going to go again, we're going to lift, and we're going to click there. If you imagine someone clicking their fingers, at the same time, your knees and back become in a line. So we're coming up. Click. I'll show you one more. Click. If you don't get the click, you'll do this. Click with the knees, click with the back. Wrong. Or the opposite way. Click with the back, click with the knees. Make it together. Use the legs and use your back together to execute the deadlift correctly and stand up at the same time using that. So guys, there you have it. Basic deadlift tutorial, giving you a few pointers, a few tips and tricks on how we learn to deadlift and how we continue to deadlift at 100%, i.e. doing it 100% correct. There are times where you may make mistakes, and there will be times where you exceed your own expectations, i.e. when you might be putting a bit too much weight on the bar. If this does occur, and I've said it in previous videos, all you need to do is just drop your ego out a little bit and take the weights down and execute the movement correctly. Nobody's watching you, you shouldn't be watching anyone else. Crack on with your workout. Lift what you can lift. If you're being trained by a coach and they're setting you something that's too heavy, or if you're going for 1 rep maxes, which do occur injuries more, tell them, say, listen, this weight's too heavy for me, I need to drop it down, I need to get this technique correctly. Never sacrifice your form and your technique for your ego, and heavier weights. Because if you get injured, you'll be gutted that you can't do this anymore, or you'll be out for 2, 3, 4 months at a time, and then you'll just fall straight off the bandwagon. So I hope you've learned something from today. This has been a long overdue video, and the deadlift being one of my favourite exercises, and I can speak for Laci as well, as I see him doing it a lot as well. So it is a staple movement, and everybody should be doing this at least once a week. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.